once again, and this time we are running against Storm. So let's see how we get on. This is our opening hand. Not too great, it's like more lands than we would ideally want, but I think we're probably just going to run with this, see how we get on. So play Misty, crack it. Obviously a good idea to start cracking our fetches first, just because we don't want to be drawing any more lands if we can avoid it. So we might as well thin our deck. I'm going to play a Supreme Phantom here, pass the turn with Flooded Strand up. One plays a tapped Steam Vents. So I'm not entirely sure what they're on at this moment in time. They could be on, is it Phoenix? Could be Storm. Could be some sort of Blood Moon deck, I guess, as well. But I certainly didn't play around that. Seemed less likely. But Slayer Hands plays an Electromancer. We're going to get to play Supreme Phantom here and Reflector Mage, which is going to be able to bounce the Electromancer, which seems pretty good in this spot. So get to attack for 7, put opponent to 9. Function our opponent has Barrel, Chief of Compliance, Gifts. Let's see if we get to see this. So Gifts, our opponent is getting 2 Rituals, a Manamorphose, and a Remand. Gonna put the Manamorphose in the bin for sure, and one of the Rituals, I guess. Remand doesn't seem to really do anything, but it doesn't actually have any blue mana at the moment, so see where we go from here. Ritual into Past in Flames. Manamorphose making 2 blue mana. Then Ritual. Gifts now. So things are not looking great for us. Opponent goes for some more Rituals. Again, Manamorphose and Grape Shot probably want to go into the bin, but thinking we are probably pretty dead. Opponent can Ritual again, and flash those back. After flashing back Past in Flames, and yeah, our opponent gets up to the Storm count required. They were going to be dead next turn, I guess. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we could do 12 damage next turn, so yeah, they managed to win just in time. Unfortunately, the Reflector Mage bouncing the Electromancer wasn't quite enough because they had the Barrel, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, unfortunately, we just lost out there. Okay, so in terms of sideboard options against Storm, we are obviously looking to bring in Thalia's Eidolon of Rhetoric. Rest in Peace is also good. It's a way of preventing Past in Flames, etc. And we also want to bring in the Geists just as a way of trying to wrap up the game as quickly as possible. In terms of cards to take out, Collected Company is a bit too slow, so we can take out 1 or 2 of those, depending on what you want to do, and yeah, probably take out a couple of those, and then Phantasmal Image and the Drog Skull Captains can come out too, as well as being a little bit too slow for this matchup. So I think those are the amendments we want to make in sideboard. Quite a good number of cards coming in, so that's quite a big change post-sideboard games. Okay, so here we are with game 2 after sideboarding against Storm. This hand doesn't have any of our sideboard cards in it. It does have 2 Mausoleum Wanderers though, which are potentially pretty good in this matchup. It's actually pretty nice that we have like a main deck counter spell in the form of Wanderer. Could be very useful. If we were looking to counter, say, a Gifts Ungiven or something like that, could be pretty decisive. Or a Past in Flames. So we're going to be able to play out our hand here for the most part. But Sleight of Hands, which is fine. Play Horizon Canopy, sack it. Doesn't find us anything, unfortunately. But Manamorphose is into a Pyretic Ritual. I could have counted the Manamorphose, but I just don't think that's what we want to be doing here. So our opponent ends up Grape Shotting for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try and wipe the board from our Mausoleum Wanderers, which obviously were going to cause our opponent a problem. So, targets each of our creatures. We can save our non-Wanderer creatures, or one of them. Here, draw into Spell Queller, which is pretty good actually. Probably one of the better cards we could have found. Opponent's going to play a cast pieces of the puzzle. So, as much as I would rather save Spell Queller for something else, I think this is probably the best, particularly it's going to buy us at least one more turn. And our opponent is down to 4 cards in hand, so I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, but we don't really have any other answers here, so kind of hoping we'll draw into something. That's a Braid to try and kill off the Spell Queller. Fortunately, we drew the Rattle Chains, which is going to nicely protect it. Barrel comes down. And we draw another Rattle Chains. I'm getting for 4 here, put opponent down to 9. Opponent has an Echoing Truth. Try and bounce the Spell Queller. So pushing really hard to get this piece of the puzzle cast, which obviously is important to them. But fortunately we are going to be able to prevent that as well. Opponent empties the Warrens with a Storm count of 5. So you can see a few goblins come down here. 10 in total, which is significant, but I think we should be able to beat that. We're attacked for 1 with Barrel. There's not really much we can do about it. We draw a Horizon Canopy, which we're going to use immediately, which nicely draws us into Collected Company. So we're going to be able to play an Eidolon of the Rhetoric here and a Geist. Played it first because if we find a Lord, we could potentially just kill our opponent right here, right now. But yeah, get to attack for 2, put our opponent down to 2. Sorry, attack for 6, put our opponent down to 2. Doesn't have a lethal attack here, presumably going to attack with everything. We can block 2 of those, take 7. And yeah, our opponent Manamorphose, which means they couldn't play another spell for this turn. Here, we can actually hold back, but it doesn't really make a lot of difference. But yeah, I'm going to be able to attack and get into those last few points of damage, and that worked out well. So yeah, Mausoleum Wonder did quite a lot of work there, and our opponent's sort of 2 semi-failed attempts at storming worked out very nicely for us. As did the Rattle Chains coming in and protecting our Spell Queller, which, if our opponent managed to get this piece of the puzzle, I imagine that might have changed the game quite significantly. So, that works out pretty nicely for us. Okay, so here we are, game 2. This hand is not bad. We've got the Geist, which can help wrap up the game fairly swiftly. We've got Vial, we've got Path to deal with any of the Electromancer / barrels that they might play, which are obviously problematic. So, just going to lead off with the Vial here. I'm just going to play Manamorphose into Serum Visions. Seems like a good thing for us. Draw into a land. Decide to keep up Path to Exile here, so just in case. The Path the Barrel here, see what our opponent does. So they have an unsubstantiate to bounce Barrel back to hand, which is a bit annoying. Get to take up Vial here. Guess we're just going to run out Geist. Knowing that we can collect a company next turn. Opponent doesn't run Barrel back out, which is interesting. because they definitely had the opportunity there. We found Mausoleum Wanderer, which is actually quite good. So we get to attack our opponent down to 12 here. Not going to Mausoleum Wanderer because we can potentially Collected Company, which hopefully will be better. Put Sleight of Hand into pieces of the puzzle. It doesn't look like they're going off this turn, which could be a big mistake. Well, equally they might not be able to, but we're going to Collect a Company in response to that. We found the Spell Queller that we were hoping to find, which is going to be able to counter that. We're also going to be able to drop Thalia, which makes comboing for them a lot more difficult, and that actually prompts the concession for our opponent. Is that enough damage? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, actually, it's exactly enough damage as well. So yeah, that does wrap up the game for us. So not even an early concession. That finishes things off. So yeah, this worked out very well for us, as it turns out. Storm is always a difficult matchup because you're never too far away from just losing the game. But we do have a lot of good sideboard cards for the matchup. As I say, main deck Mausoleum Wanderer is also pretty nice as a way of disrupting them and their combo. So yeah, I think we've got some good tools against Storm, which certainly make it a better matchup than it might otherwise be. And then we have got some strong support from the sideboard as well. So I think this matchup is relatively reasonable and certainly winnable. And yeah, I think generally not too bad a matchup for us.